Life got painful. Well, life's going to get painful, but that doesn't mean we can't be our true selves. Here with more is relationship expert Dr. Becky Whetstone. Thank you so much, Dr. Becky, for coming back.
Thanks for having me back.
We are thrilled to talk to you about this because
lots of good stuff. I mean, we've been talking about this all morning long about some of this stuff. And tell us, I mean, how does this even start? Where does somebody even begin with this?
Well, first of all, you need to understand that the root of unhappiness and depression, anxiety, and stuff like that comes mainly from not being authentic, and that's not being true to yourself and who you really are. Okay, and who you really are is who you were born as. You can look at any baby or toddler out there, and they're joyful, they're uninhibited. They trust people, they're exuberant, and so what happens is somewhere in your childhood, it could be something you remember or something you don't remember, but something happens and you learn that life is painful, or people hurt me, or whatever, and so you put the walls up and you create a facade that you start living behind, and now you're no longer authentic.
Now, when you say babies and toddlers, at what point is it different for, is it 3 years old, is it 5 years old, is it 8 years old? What age is it that you relate that pain with? Oh, I don't want to feel that.
You know what? There's some experts that say it can happen in the womb. Like if like if a mother has a traumatic incident in the womb, that can imprint in the baby. There are people that believe that.
Wow.
Now, so it could be that you're a baby crying in the bed, and remember, you've got a baby's brain, so you've got cognitive levels like a baby. So remember how you used to think wild things when you were a child?
Right.
So you make these decisions, like say your mother left you crying in the bed for an hour and you're hungry. So you may, as a baby, imprint, no one cares about me, in your own baby mind. And so you can bring that on into...
Wow.
And the thing is, you drag all that baggage, all those decisions you make about yourself, you drag them into adulthood. And then some of my clients tell me, well, they had a great childhood, but when they got to school, they compared themselves to the other kids. They weren't as pretty, or they weren't athletically inclined, or something like that. So then they think, well, I don't measure up. So then they take on that I don't measure up thing and drag it into adulthood.
And that just carries on throughout your entire life.
It does, until you deal with it. And you've got to deal with it.
From being a baby,
yes,
and then just dragging that all the way through. Yes. I've never even think that could be the case.
A lot of children of divorce will tell me, oh, I remember when my parents set me down and said they were getting divorced, and I blamed myself and stuff like that. So
imagine if your life has always been tough, you've always been disappointed or hurt. What that must make you when you were an adult. But before we get to that, let's talk about the wounded child. Because you say that there are stages, and the first stage is the babies and the toddlers. The next
when you're your authentic self.
Right, and then the wounded child is when
that thing happens, whatever it is. It could be something you remember or you don't. It could be something that, like, you were an infant and you felt neglected, but you didn't know how to verbalize that, obviously, as a baby, but you just decided in your mind. Everything gets imprinted in your brain, okay? So then you enter into life and you start approaching people as someone who feels neglected. So you might be needy or something like that.
Now, with each incident, does it get worse and worse? Because let's say that first incident, so to speak, happens as a child, whatever it is, you're hungry, crying in the bed. So does it just compile starting as a child, each time something traumatic, so to speak, happens, that adds on to the baggage over and over?
Exactly. I mean, it can make you shut down more and more and more. And people have different ways of managing it. And typically what happens is when they get wounded or hurt, they decide, I'm no good, I don't measure up, I'm not, whatever it is. The wall goes up, and they've learned that life is painful, so now they've got to create a false personality to present to the world
to protect
themselves from being hurt. And that's why you'll see maybe tough guys, macho guys, and the tougher a guy is, that tells me the more wounded child he is, because these people create these hard, tough facades to keep people away.
We're taking a look at some of the examples of false selves right here.
There's thousands of them. These are just a few of the ones I see most often. The tough guy, the troublemaker, and see, the troublemaker is saying, stay away from me. The funny girl might be saying, I don't want to get serious because I know serious conversations are painful. So she puts on the funny girl facade. The perfectionist, the overachiever, the rescuer, and fixer.
And you say that there are thousands, and there's
thousands.
There's probably, Greg and I were going through this list yesterday, and we're just like, well, I'm kind of a little bit of this one. I think I'm a little bit of this one too, and maybe this one too. So you can even start to mesh all of those different facades at different points in your life.
Exactly, and in any given week, maybe you're more of one thing than another. And it's like you have a bag of tricks, okay? And in any given situation at work or in personal relationships, to keep from getting hurt or to survive, you pull from one bag of tricks and use that personality and give more power to that false self.
Now, here's what we want to do. We want to get back to our authentic selves, and Dr. Becky's going to help us do that after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Joining us this morning is relationship expert Dr. Becky Whetstone. Thank you so much. We're talking about finding your authentic self before life got painful. We talked about the problem. Let's talk about the solution.
Yeah, the solution is we need to peel back all the layers, all the little false selves that you have put onto yourself to protect yourself and to survive, and to get back in touch with the real you, the you that was the little child, the little innocent child that was playful and fun and capable of loving and giving and all that stuff before life got painful. So the way you do it is you need to access that voice in your head that's the voice of reason, the wise voice that they used to say angel on your shoulder, devil on your shoulder kind of thing. It's that angel kind of voice in your head that's always giving you great advice that you probably, if you're not authentic, you're not listening to it very much, and you're doing what the other false selves are telling you to do. You know.
I see. And you mentioned getting back to that. I mean, is that why people so often say, "Wow, I wish I were a kid again. It would be so nice to be a kid again. I remember those days."
Yes. Well, the thing is, it takes a lot of energy to be an actor or an actress every day, upholding this false self, you know.
Right.
So people always say, "Oh, I'm so tired, I don't know why." Well, one of the reasons why is because you're walking around as a phony all the time. So once you shed that skin, it is so freeing. You'll end up looking like me.
Let's do it. Let's shed the skin. I'm excited. I'm ready to shed the skin.
We're ready to be our authentic selves, and you are going to show us how to do that with a pie chart.
Yes.
You're going to explain exactly how this works.
Yes.
For instance.
Okay, this is something I would do with the client. I would give them the assignment to look at their life as if they were a pie. I would have them draw the slice of the pie that they give, the power that they give to their authentic self. So how much of your life are you living as the real you, the confident you, the wise you, the one that's got it going on? Okay, so that you can see this person here has drawn a very small piece of authentic self, and then they've given much more power to their fake self that they've created to survive, the perfectionist. And then the other one is the untouchable, don't touch me. That's kind of a fearful personality. So this person needs to, actually you can have a conversation with the different personalities and say, look, perfectionist, I'm sick of you ruling my life. It's taken me too much energy to carry you as a load on my back. So I am going to kick you out of my life, and I'm going to give the power to the authentic self.
Got it. Okay, so we are working on our own. And I actually thought of another one because I'm all of these things. Well, at first I was like, I'm like 75% authentic, but as we keep talking, I keep finding more and more and more.
The thing is, you can have one or two pieces of pie, or you can have 100 pieces of pie. You know, it just depends on the person.
This goes to show even people on TV, they don't got it together. Okay, so here's mine, and I would have to say that this, for the most part, I live within my authentic self. Okay. But then I say within that, I'm guarded. I'm a perfectionist, overachiever, and a people pleaser.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I noticed that your pie is bigger than Greg's.
Yes, and then I made it. And then this down here is my apple pie or cherry pie. Over in other cases. And then this is Greg's over here. Greg, wanna?
Yeah, and I did the same thing. At first I thought, oh, more authentic than anything else. But then the more we talk about this, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Perfectionist, big time. Slice of insecurity right there. I go for the funny thing a lot. I guess that goes in with the insecurity. I'm a basket case, Doc. I'm in trouble. I'm ready to start getting real.
Well, here's the thing you'll notice is that when you've got all these different things going on, there's a bunch of chatter in your head, and it's like the guarded person has a conversation with the perfectionist, and the overachiever, they're going, oh, no, don't do this, yes, do that, and stuff like that. And the more chatter you have going on in your head, the worse off you are from an emotional health standpoint. When you start getting in touch with your authentic self, you're just listening to that one wise voice, and when the others come up and try to bug you, you say, shut up and go away, I'm not listening to you. So the less chatter going on in your head, the healthier you are.
Well, I would have to say that we're not that
We're okay.
unbalanced. Yeah, we're not that.
Right.
What about those people who find that their authentic self is this right here?
Those people are probably experiencing depression, anxiety, very unhappy people, really. And it'll start showing up in their life. And if it's not just the way you feel like, oh, I'm unhappy, you'll literally, it'll be in your body. You'll have illnesses, headaches, migraines, chronic pain, joint pain, and stuff like that. So
We've only got about a minute left. What do you suggest for our viewers at home that they do? One tip that they should do on a daily basis.
One tip that they should do is just sit and be quiet, okay? And you talk about meditation, but you know what? This is very important, is to sit and be quiet and access that wise voice in your head. And when you've got problems and issues, I even do this. I go sit quietly in a room, I access that wise voice, and I say, okay, what should I do about this? And just, you know that voice, you know the wise voice of reason. Listen to it, and every time, if you do what it says, you never go wrong.
There you go.
It always gives you great advice.
Go ahead, sit back. Just sit and be quiet. Yes. Sit and be quiet. Figure out your life. And thank you so much. Here's the information for Dr. Becky. For more information, check out our website, drbecky.com. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Good stuff.
Thank you very much.
No, I really mean sit and be quiet. Figure out your life.
Oh, is this?
There you go. That's for you.
You telling me what to do? That's what part of that?
Coming up next, you'll never guess which boy band is coming back for a reality show. We'll have details coming up next. Stay with us.